the top 1% in business, work, in the gym, wherever it may be. It is easy for us to assume that they just work harder. But I actually don't think that's the main difference. I think that they think differently. And the most interesting part of this is that thinking is a trainable skill. So in this video, I'm going to break down 6 mental models that I've noticed high performers use and how you can start applying them immediately. First shift is this. High performers in the top 1% think in years, not days or months or now. Most people are optimizing for comfort, but high performers are optimizing for compounding results. And if we look at the example of fitness, one missed workout doesn't matter, right? But if we do this on a consistent basis and the results of not working out compound, we see a result of not being fit. And then we look at it in the reverse, and doing one workout doesn't make us fit. But if we look at this in compounding and we work out regularly, we become a fit person. So to avoid this, one question I ask myself is this decision or action building momentum? Because when we really think about it, small behaviors shape our identity. And our identity drives our outcomes and drives our results. The second shift is radical responsibility. This one can be kind of uncomfortable because it removes excuses and easy explanations for things. It's very easy to blame or to tell yourself that it was bad timing or the algorithm is the reason why I don't get results. But high performers aren't looking at things like this. They're not looking through this lens. They're asking the question, well, part of this is in my control. What can I change? What can I manipulate? What is my circle of influence here? And even if it was just 10% of what was going wrong that you could control, that 10% is your leverage. And that 10% is being used by the high performers in order to change the direction or the path that they're on. So for example, with posting, if you're posting and you're realizing that your growth is slow, instead of thinking, oh, you know, it's the algorithm, my videos aren't being pushed out to the right people or whatever you're assuming, take a step back like a high performer and ask yourself, what skill can I improve? What can I change here that may get my video more views? Is it my thumbnail? Is it the quality of my audio? Maybe it's what you're wearing in your videos. Maybe you need a background. The key here is taking responsibility and not blaming things that are out of your control. The moment you're doing that, you're giving up all of your control. But the moment you realize that the things that are in your control and you can change them and you can make them better, you will move in the right direction. The third shift is using systems over your mood. So the 99% rely on emotion and are heavily influenced by their emotional state. When we look at the 1%, we notice that they are relying on structure and systems. We all know that motivation comes and goes, it's inconsistent, but having structure is a scalable thing. Building a system is a scalable thing. For example, if you're waiting to feel like training or going to the gym, that's so unreliable. The likelihood of you waking up and just feeling like going to the gym every single day, it's never going to happen. But what high performers do is they remove the decision fatigue. They remove the friction by implementing a process or a structure or a system. They don't renegotiate their goals based on their mood. So if you wake up not feeling like going to the gym, a high performer isn't going to say, well, I'm not feeling like I'm not going to go today. They are going to use the structure and system in place. Their workout clothes are laid out. Their PT's waiting for them at their session, and they're going to get up and go. And a useful question to ask yourself in this situation is, where am I relying on willpower that I could instead create a system for that would make this so much easier? And this shift alone can dramatically increase your output towards the thing that you're trying to do. Number 4 is looking at outcomes as data and not creating this emotional drama around it. This could be one of the biggest separators between the 99% and the top 1%, because most people are personalizing an outcome. For example, if I post a video and I only get 5 views, the 99% would look at that and think, oh, you know, I'm not good enough, I can't do this, with all this negative self-talk. But what is the 1% doing? The 1% would look at that and think, okay, let's look at this as data. What can I change in my video? Maybe I can change my title, maybe I can change my hashtags, maybe I could hire an editor to make my videos look better. And the moment you analyze your outcome and really break it down and reverse the steps back and see what you can influence and change, the moment you become just like a high performer. It's all about testing, measuring, and adjusting. And this is something that the top 1% are doing all the time. So instead of telling yourself you failed at something, you can look at it like that attempt didn't work, but what can I do this time? By emotionally detaching from that, you can increase the speed at which you adjust and adapt and move direction. And the faster you can learn and adapt and adjust, the faster you can get the results you want. Number 5, which is my absolute favorite, is investing in yourself. The top 1% are investing in themselves like you would not believe. And I'm not just talking about money here, I'm talking about their self-development, their mindset skills, maybe a skill in business, maybe a skill in marketing, in their health, in their energy, in their environment. And what the top 1% get that the other 99% of people don't understand is that you are your biggest asset. If you do not have your health, you have nothing. We have one body that carries us through this life. So health is one of the most important things, and the top 1% are investing in that. They're taking care of themselves. They have gym programs, they eat well, they sleep well, they're always looking for the next thing to improve their health. If you have no confidence, or you have no skills, or you have a poor environment, these things are going to negatively impact you, and investing in these things to improve them is going to push you in the right direction. So think about something that you may need to learn, something that you may need to know, something that you don't know that you, if you knew, would make your life so much easier. That could be communication, it could be public speaking, it could be marketing, it could be editing, it could be running a social media campaign. There's a million different things that it could be for you, and you needed to ask yourself, or if I needed to know one thing that would make my day-to-day life and my business or my goals or reaching my goals so much simpler, what would it be? Whatever that is for you, invest in that skill. So instead of improving 5 things poorly and doing a half-assed effort, pick one thing and invest in that and build your skills in that until you feel confident that you have the skills and that it has made your life easier, that it has brought success to you quicker, and then move on to the next skill. And the thing that the top 1% of people are doing is regularly investing in this skill building activities. Number 6, which I'm sure is not going to be surprising to many of you, but a lot of us look past this, and it is doing things consistently even though they are boring. The top 1% of people are repeating the fundamentals long after they become unexciting. They will train consistently, they will track progress, they will review metrics, they will refine and make small improvements. But when we look at the 99% of people and what they're doing, we know that they're taking shortcuts. We know that they're looking for the next quick fix or the next program. But when we really take a step back, novelty resets your progress. Jumping from thing to thing to thing isn't getting you up that mountain, it's just putting you on a new path every time, and you're never going to make it up the mountain if you keep changing your path. So doing those repeated, consistent but boring activities is what's really going to drive you up the mountain. So those were the top 6 mental shifts that I've noticed the top 1% of people, the high performers, have. And if you zoom out, thinking like the top 1% really comes down to long-term orientation, radical responsibility, systems over motivation, data over drama, leverage or skill building, and consistency. And by no means none of these things are flashy, but the amazing part of this is every single one of those things is a trainable skill or mindset that we can work towards. Pick one of these mindset shifts and apply it intentionally for the next 30 to 60 days. Thinking patterns take time to develop, and by actioning one of these, I guarantee you, you're going to push yourself in the right direction. I'd love to know which one of these you think you struggle with the most. Is it your long-term thinking, your responsibility, your consistency, or your inability to detach from emotion? Comment below and I'll see you in the next video.